Hey everyone, welcome back to Lifeboat Media. Today I'm going to show you how I built a World War II YMS-class Minesweeper completely from scratch. Over the past few weeks, I documented the whole entire process from cutting the wooden hull and building the superstructure all the way to painting and adding the finishing details. So whether you're into model building, naval history, or just enjoying seeing projects come together, I think you're going to enjoy this one. But before we jump into the build, I want to spend a few minutes just talking about the history behind these ships. Because YMS-class minesweepers may not be as well known as battleships or aircraft carriers, but without them, many of the Navy's biggest operations during World War II simply would not have been possible. During World War II, one of the deadliest weapons at sea wasn't always an enemy ship, it was the naval mine. These underwater explosives could be anchored beneath the surface or drift with the current, waiting for an unsuspecting ship to pass right overhead. A single mine had enough explosive power to severely damage or sink a ship, making them one of the greatest hazards sailors faced during the war. Naval mines were used by both Allies and Axis power to defend ports, block shipping routes, protect coastlines. Before troops, supplies, or warships could safely enter an area, someone had to make sure those waters were clear. That responsibility fell to the minesweepers. The United States Navy built more than 560 YMS-class minesweepers between 1941 and 1945. The name YMS actually stands for Yard Motor Minesweeper. Although they were only about 136 feet long, these ships served all around the world, from the Atlantic to the Pacific, clearing mines ahead of invasions, reopening harbors after battles, escorting convoys, and helping keep vital shipping lanes open. One of the most unique features of these ships was that they were built primarily out of wood instead of steel. That wasn't simply to save money or because wood was easier to work with. Many naval mines were activated by charges in a ship's magnetic field. Since wood isn't magnetic, these ships had much lower chance of triggering those mines, making them far safer for this dangerous job. To remove mines, the crews would tow specialized sweep gear behind the ship. If a mine was attached to the seafloor by cable, the sweep gear would cut that cable, allowing the mine to float to the surface. Once it surfaced, sailors would carefully destroy it by firing at it with rifles or machine guns from a safe distance. The ship I'm building today is the YMS, one of the many vessels that served in this great, remarkable class. While every ship has its own story, I think building this model is a great way to remember the sailors who carried out one of the most dangerous and overlooked jobs in the Second World War. Now that you know a little bit about the history behind these incredible ships, it's time to build one. So sit back, relax, and let's get started. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be trying to build a model of the YMS 445 Minesweeper using nothing but 2x4. I do not have crazy woodworking skills, so this is going to be a simple build, but that's the fun part. So let's see what we can actually make out of this chunk of lumber. Here's the 2x4 I'll be starting with today. It's rough, it's cheap, but it's all I need. The real YMS 445 was a wooden-hulled World War II minesweeper. It was about 136 feet long. My model, around 18 inches, which is roughly 1/10 of the scale. So the first thing that I have done is I have taken a blueprint from the YMS and sized it down to the exact measurements that we will need for this build. Okay guys, so I've completed the measurements, so now let's get on to cutting. Okay guys, so I have now completed the basic cuts with the bow and the stern. So now it's time to go into more detail, cutting out the pilot house and the smokestack. Okay, so after some finalized cuts, this is what it looks like so far. Okay guys, so this is what the ship looks like sanded down, now that I've sanded down the stern, the bow, and the front of the pilot house. Okay, now I'm going to begin gluing all the pieces together. So I have now completed the gluing and putting the wood paste on. So now I'm going to begin the painting. I have completed painting the boat, so now it's time to add some details. These are just some of the small details that I have added to the boat. You can definitely add a lot more detail to it, get a lot more detailed. I'm just keeping it super simple right now.